All right, morning, everybody. Let's call the meeting to order. Lee will be here in a minute. We'll give him a couple seconds to get here. So we'll just wait a little bit. We can go ahead and do public comments. Do we have any public comments from Zoom? And they're limited to agenda items and 2 minutes per individual.
Means I can't talk about Caitlin Clark.
Do we have any public comments on Zoom? Or in the room? Any public comments? All right. We're gonna wait a couple minutes. We did spotlight, so I know he'll be here momentarily.
He's probably still talking.
Well, it usually ends about 10 till, so. Otherwise, we'll go ahead. We'll wait 2 minutes.
Chauncey, is it raining outside?
No, but it's very much threatening to.
All right, let's go ahead. We've got minutes we can approve. And we have minutes from the April 8th meeting.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that. Do we have any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Good morning, Blaine.
Good morning, supervisors. Everybody's doing well. You got me all messed up with your revised schedule for meetings, but I'll try and soldier on through.
We'll remember that next time.
That's all about what's convenient for me. We started the patch project yesterday, working on Dowd's, or actually started Friday. Did the 2 patches in Libertyville because they were kind of off by themselves. They couldn't stretch out a traffic control setup to encompass other ones very effectively, so they just had a fairly low production day on Friday. Yesterday, they set up and did the southbound lane on Dowd's Road from Libertyville to the county line. I think they got pretty much everything that was on that side. We found out that instead of having 8 inches of asphalt there, we have 11.5. So coming back northbound, we just changed those to a partial depth patch. Just replaced the top 5 inches of the asphalt on there. When they got down to the existing rock base, they found it was very stable. It's just with the steep ditches, the road kind of sloughed a little bit, but for what we're doing, the partial depth patch is going to be just as effective as doing a rock base and patch on that.
Morning, Lee.
Good morning, Lee. With the warm temperatures through the weekend, our chip seals were doing a little bleeding, so we'll be sanding those after the rain goes through here in the next day or 2. And what that sand does is act as a block coat, much as the cover aggregate, to keep it from tracking on people's vehicles. Other than that, we're just still wrapping up paperwork for our projects from last year and working on our chip seal plans. Calhoun Burns submitted their check plans to us this week for Libertyville Road Bridge. Everything looks all right from what I've gone through. The DOT did their structural review of it and it passed that. The historical department, whatever the state calls them, have approved it, so we're moving forward. Hopefully, if we get everything lined up, it'll be an August letting. I've been telling you guys November. Looks like they might have things.
And that'd be for next construction season.
It would be, yes, for the major construction work would be next season. Clearing and grubbing and some of the off-road work would be able to be done this winter, which is kind of what you want to do. With the Indiana brown-nosed bat or whatever the little creature's name is, it's part of their habitat, but I believe they migrate. So all the clearing and grubbing can be done from November till March, somewhere in that winter window when they're not around, so you're not disturbing habitat.
They must migrate to the courthouse.
That could very well be.
Yeah,
That's why God invented tennis rackets.
yeah.
No, they're endangered.
Yeah, they get close to a
Yeah.
tennis racket.
You have to
They
be
get
nice
close
to
to
them.
you.
Other than that, that's really all we have.
Right. Let's go to number 2 on the agenda, discuss and consider a resolution for the destruction of noxious weeds. I assume this is yours.
Nominally, yes.
By default.
By default, yeah, by default. Actually, while we're
We
on,
appreciate that.
while we're on this.
Yeah.
I would like to retire from being weed commissioner. And I would propose that Dennis Peebler in the road department,
Okay.
who is the guy that we have spray weeds and identify them and do all that stuff. And he actually knows what he's looking at.
Is it okay with him? if he talks to him?
It's okay with him, but he would like a raise to do that. So I don't know if there's a way. Because right now we've got the weed department has a $3,000 budget that we almost spend nothing out of. Because the road department does take care of the weeds in the right of way by default.
I would say at this juncture, since we just approved, well, the budget's pretty much approved.
Okay.
It should be addressed a year from now. Can you
Well,
handle it for another
I've
year?
got a $3,000 budget that I don't spend. So why don't we give $2,080 of that to Mr. Peebler to act as the weed commissioner? I'd give him $1 an hour raise. It's in the budget, within the budget. You guys considered it's not on the agenda. but
I know it's
well,
not on the
yeah.
agenda.
Think, you
We'll have
guys
to
think
ponder
about it.
that one.
Yeah,
Because technically I'm not qualified to be the weed commissioner.
Is he, or does he have to
Yes.
get, okay, tell us more about that.
Well, you have to have your commercial applicator's
Oh.
license and
And
the,
he's already got
they
those.
already, yeah, he has that.
So has he already gotten a raise for having that stuff?
He gets his quarter an hour for the certifications. For the, yeah,
so $500 and some a year.
So he's already got that.
How much extra time would he do when he? What, does he put a hat on and then go do his regular job and then come back, put
well,
another hat on? and
that's
do the
just it,
noxious weeds?
that's,
Or is that kind of incorporated? with what he does?
it would have to be incorporated and it would have to come into the road department budget. Or we'd have to pay him separately when he's doing that. I don't know a handy way to make that happen. But either that or I've been doing some research.
Oh, good.
Why don't we, well, you can go ahead
The
and,
county may combine duties of 2 or more of the following officers as provided in this subsection. So you have other options of the sheriff, the treasurer, the recorder, the auditor, medical examiner who does not exist, but I
Do
know
you have any extra time, Abby?
no, the county assessor and the county those can all be weed commissioners.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we, do you want to send us that and we can put it on the agenda so we can really give it some due
Yeah.
diligence because it's not on the agenda. It's good to have a heads up, but then we can at least educate ourselves on it. I don't think there's any immediate hurry.
No, the weeds are just starting. And
Because usually, I know in the past, this position hasn't done anything until what, July, August,
yeah, I don't know as
September.
Dan did much anything about it other than
right?
file his annual report.
So,
Does the duty of weed commissioner require any big gear in your office, trucks, sprayers, stuff like that?
Possibly,
It would make sense.
It would make-
it.
yeah.
Not, the assessor doesn't have a, a
Well,
sprayer.
we'll let him borrow it. If we can get women to take it on.
all right, so as far as our agenda item goes, discuss and consider resolution for destruction of noxious weeds, and this is a annual designation, be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Jefferson County pursuant to provision of chapter 317, 2024 Code of Iowa. It is hereby ordered that each owner and each person in the possession or control of any lands in Jefferson County shall cut, burn, or otherwise destroy all noxious weeds thereon as defined in this chapter at such times in each year and in such manner as be prescribed by the Board of Supervisors. Each owner and each person in the possession or control of any lands in Jefferson County shall keep said lands free from such growth of any other weeds as shall render the streets and highways adjoining said lands unsafe for public travel. Noxious weeds shall be cut or otherwise destroyed on or before the following date, and as often as it is necessary to prevent seed production. May 15th, 2024, for immediate eradication of Palmer amaranth, for control of leafy spurge, and thistle, bull thistle, teasel, multiflora rose, field bindweed, all other species of thistles belonging to the genus of Carduus and water hemp. 2, that each owner and each person in the possession or control of any lands in Jefferson County infested with noxious weeds, including the immediate eradication of Palmer amaranth and the control of leafy spurge, Canada thistle, bull thistle, teasel, multiflorous rose, field bindweed, all other species of thistles belonging to the genus of Carduus, and water hemp shall adopt a program of weed destruction described by the weed commissioner, which in 5 years may be expected to destroy and will immediately keep under control such infestation of said noxious weeds. That if the owners or person in possession or control of any land in Jefferson County fail to comply with the foregoing orders, the weed commissioner shall cause this to be done. And the expense of said work, including costs of serving notice and other costs, if any, to be assessed against the land and the owners thereof. That the county auditor be and is hereby directed to cause notice of the making and entering of the foregoing order by one publication in the official newspapers of the county. And again, this is an annual notice that we do. So
Motion to approve.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anything else for us, Tony?
On the list of claims for this week, I don't remember if Melissa got the material storage payment for HK. Road department. Yeah, Yeah, so the engineered lining systems payment needs to be withheld for 68,200 until they were supposed to get their certified paperwork to me last week and they have not got that turned in, so we have provisions for materials on hand for prepayment form if they get us the certificates of insurance and bill of lading and have it in a secured warehouse, and they have not produced that paperwork for me, so.
All right,
What
63,200. All right, thanks. Okay, we'll deal with that at claims. All right, moving on. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning. How are y'all?
Great. So what do you have for us?
Well, currently in our bank account is $12,079.26. Currently from March 25th, 78,525.52 was out by the auditor. April 1st was 13,803.42 by the auditor as
So
well.
what's the total?
Total is 107,1081.
What's on the dashboard?
Dashboard is 565, 164. Currently pending, we have 25,434. For April call volume, we're at 87. For the year 2024, 511. 2023 is 432 with a total of 943. Out of that, 61 transports were done in 2023 from October 1st to December 31st. 2024 so far is 94 for a total of 155 for the hospital. So currently, 53 is in Burlington getting its radio right now.
Where's it getting done?
I'm not for sure. Damon, the radio guys are
Where?
down there.
Electronic apps.
Is
Yeah,
that who always does those?
Yes.
Did you guys get bids for that? Or any other places
that's the
did?
one that we went through for with Brett Farrell. He's the one that, cause all the radios have to be the same. And the 911 board takes care of that.
How long will it
with
take?
Brett. A day or two.
When was it there?
It went there this morning, 53.
Okay. I just hadn't seen anything sitting outside, 3 ambulances and white Liberty Field car, so I'm just.
Yeah,
I didn't see
the,
anything outside.
what do you mean outside?
Well, you have 3 ambulances
Correct,
and the Libertyville car, so that's 4.
Yeah.
You got 3 bays.
right.
So I didn't see anything sitting outside.
No, No,
And did
'cause-
you get all of them inside?
no, the Libertyville and 53 went down to Burlington because Judy followed Damien and then brought him back. And then we'll go pick up 53 when it's done.
Well, you had 52 out of Fessler, so.
52
so the
is
new
back.
one And 51
Yes.
in the, what do you call it? You said the Libertyville one.
305,
There
right?
was just 3 vehicles.
Correct.
52.
It's good.
down.
It's good for DNI to also know this stuff.
Right.
When is, the Libertyville vehicle going back?
Probably today.
Okay.
So since 52 and 51 are running right now, we got 52 back last night. So it's all good to go.
What was wrong with it? Did they find out?
I think it was a belt. So I haven't had a chance to talk to Alex today about it, so this morning. So,
Did you get all the equipment? I know,
yes.
and
we-
that new ambulance, you mentioned something about the brackets. Are those okay or?
Yeah, we're still working on the brackets, and before I go further, I want to thank Jacob Dodds, because I had called him that day that 52 went down. And he was really Johnny on the spot and getting back to me and answering the question and working with us as far as getting 53 up and going within that 2 hours that 52 went down. So it's a real shout out and testament to him and working together with him as well. So I appreciate that.
So how did you handle a radio in 53 then for that?
We have two handhelds
Okay.
that are countywide that doesn't require a repeater. And Brett Fair was instrumental in getting us those two.
Very good. Right. All right, so you've got the brackets and everything solved.
We're getting the brackets, yes.
Is there
working with
anything you have to
Kevin.
follow up with Kevin on?
I've been in contact with him about those brackets and getting those in. So we'll be taking care of those hopefully this week.
So is that something he needs to come install or how's that gonna work?
I preferred if he came in and installed it.
Well, it seems like it ought to be a warranty. You should.
I agree. We do have a year warranty that he's
So I
has
would
that,
ask
but
him
I-
to do that because we,
Yes, ma'am.
if it wasn't correctly done,
correct. And
it should be correct.
right, yes, ma'am. So and I sent y'all his warranty and also the Ford warranty that comes with the new vehicle, powertrain and things like that. The box and what Kevin's done is warranted up to a year that he's given us, so
And you've got all the equipment and everything you need for that.
that's correct, yes, ma'am, I do.
Any other questions?
Well, I just, what's been his response to you?
He's been, he's asked us to change out the brackets ourselves. I said, we don't have the time for that. That's part of his responsibility as far as when we get the ambulance in, it should already have the brackets in place for us to just put in our oxygen bottles and our suction canisters and things like that. We shouldn't have to install anything.
Well, and I agree with that assessment and, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Capitulated, conceded, being nice guys, whatever. We went ahead and paid for that ambulance when it was delivered,
That is correct.
rather than withholding
Well, and it
payment.
said that on the invoice.
I understand that, but my point is
He
that
needs to
now we
make it
have no
right.
leverage. And I just feel like that if he's, I understand that he doesn't want to do it, I get that, but
He needs to.
he needs to.
Agreed.
So if you need to involve Chauncey in it, I would.
Right,
I sure will.
my son.
Because we paid
Hello.
for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And his
Yeah.
warranty states clearly
Right?
that he would do that.
You know, it's too bad. Hindsight shows that maybe when he arrived, we should have went
Right.
through item by item because he really basically just ran out of there.
Right. He did. We wanted to go test drive it and
Okay.
get that on that me and Dee did and go through it as quickly as we can. And I think we should at least had a couple of days to go through everything, make a list. But again, like you said, hindsight's 20/20.
I suppose I'd say something to him about the lettering on the one side being off.
Right?
I
That
mean,
seems like
because
that ought
that's
to
just,
be.
Right.
that's just,
Now's the time to
Right.
do
Make a
this
list.
while it's new.
So you're gonna try to.
And under warranty. That's
Mhm.
correct. Yes.
So, all right. Anything else? Good. Thanks, Brian.
All right. Did we have the discuss and consider?
Yeah, moving on. Number 3, discuss and consider hiring Chance Crandall as PRN EMT.
Yeah, Chance is, he's been an EMT since 2018. He'll just fill in as PRN and fill in with that. Again, he's.
And his
part-
place is he taking?
He's not taking anybody. He's just coming on as, if somebody calls it
Right.
sick, he's just working as PRN. He works currently in a Tumwa as a firefighter.
Okay.
He'll be joining the rest of the Crandall boys that we have.
so chances related to other employees you have,
I'm sorry.
chances related to other employees that you have.
Yeah, he, Crandall's with the fire department. So, but it's not really in conflict of interest. So we have we have Sage and we have his father working for us as well.
Yeah.
They both work in the fire department.
I would suppose if there are any conflict of interest, you'd let us know.
Correct, but there's none.
And when is he gonna start?
Well, his pre-employment stuff is done. We just have to, and his background check was done. They all came back clear and drug results as well. And, hopefully.
Can I see that?
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's packet.
So for clarification purposes, and so for the public that might be listening, this is not, he doesn't have any set schedule. It's like, hey,
Right.
we got an opening, or we need to fill
And that,
12 hours or whatever.
correct.
Thank you.
Are you
And that-
available?
And that's all it is. And that's all it is.
And that brings up another question I have. Have you had many folks quit?
No, I've had people that, mostly paramedics that have, that have some surgeries coming up. The one that I found out yesterday, she's gonna be out till maybe July. Some people have backed off. They usually have 1 day a week and now they're giving it every other week. Some personal issues. One other gentleman,
And these
Is
are
that-
all PRN people.
they are PRN people, but they serve a critical role as far as
Exactly.
doing
Oh, yeah.
They
one
fill
day,
in,
guaranteeing me 1 day a week, because you can count on that.
right?
One individual's out, for some eye stuff because his surgery was
Right.
messed up, so he's gonna be out till June or
So
July.
usual employee type of things.
Correct,
Yeah.
and right now we're doing 72 hours a week on the truck, and that's really hard.
You guys are.
Yes.
How many
That's
people do you
correct.
have working there?
How many
How
right
many?
now?
Yeah.
24, 25,
And how many are full-time?
12. And some of those full timers, are.
Plus you and
sick
Judy would
and-
be 14.
Correct, yes. So if people have time off, or they request time off, that's gotta be filled, it's just typical.
And you keep track of that time off?
That's
So that-
correct.
And you
That's
report that to us?
Judy keeps track of all that time, yes.
But is it reported on the timesheets you turn in here?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes, ma'am, it is.
Because if they're taking vacation, that means marked as
Well,
vacation.
none of them are taking vacation.
Okay, so-
It's,
Sick leave needs reported as
yeah,
well.
so, and no, everything's being properly.
Okay, so we need a motion for this one.
And then these employees here, the only benefit, if you will, that they have is when they work, they have Vipers.
But that's the only benefit they
Yeah,
have.
they don't have
They
insurance or
They don't have
anything.
insurance.
Right,
or
that's
any
what
other benefit.
PRN is, it's no
Yes.
benefits.
That's correct.
And then make a motion to approve the hiring of Chance Crandall as a PRN EMT. Pre-employment paperwork. That is complete.
That's correct. Yes, we got all that back the other day.
Do we have a second?
I second that based on the positive pre-employment paperwork.
Okay. And do we have any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
I wrote on mine.
Okay, moving on, discussing, consider hiring of Jeffrey Kyle DeVolt as PRN paramedic.
Jeffrey's been a paramedic since 2010. He's also a registered ER nurse, works in Van Buren, flight paramedic, has good credentials, good background check, everything came back positive. Again, he's PRN. He'll fit on the 1 day a week. That's been vacated by the people that are out for sick for months. Some of them may return, some may not, depending on how their test results come back. So,
Any questions on this one?
Yeah, I have some questions.
Okay.
I take it he works in Van Buren County,
that's correct, yes.
48 hours a week.
And Van Buren?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Would he work more if you needed him?
I'm sure he probably could. I know he talked about coming on full time eventually, probably within a year or so, which is good.
Okay, how did you determine $30 an hour?
Based on his experience and him being an ER nurse and his credentials, he is also.
Sounds like he's really well qualified.
Yes, he is.
Did you say it's a flight paramedic?
Yes, yes.
So when we get an airplane,
Or speedboat?
well, there you go.
Yeah. So you get the wave and they fly.
Do that again, would you?
Okay,
Yeah, speedboat.
any
She
questions?
asked, okay, she asked. Right? You heard it,
Focus.
right? You heard it.
Focus.
We got,
Do we have a motion?
motion to approve.
Second.
Do we have any more discussion?
No
No,
matter.
we better not.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
You bet.
Cassie, how are you today? You look tired.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Anything else for Brian? All right. We are going to table the drag by ordinance because it's not ready yet. So they'll get it to us when it is. Might be on next week. I'll let you know how they want to hear. Okay. Make committee reports.
Regional utility service systems. After, all of the back and forth with Argyle, if any of you remember about wanting the baseball field and
Yeah, yeah,
that whatnot, and then we met with township trustee and they said, well, they've got the money and well, we're willing to go forward if you're willing to go forward. And so at that last meeting, the month before, we were going forward. Well, in this meeting, we were told that they're not going forward. So I don't know whether they're gonna play baseball down there or not. I guess not our concern. And we are interviewing for environmental specialist position. And
For Henry County?
yes,
Okay.
and we talked extensively about the Health and Human Services, the transition that's going to take place. When, of course, we don't know. Lots and lots of talk about the elimination of home rule. And so it's very important that we keep our ear to the ground on that because, as I said in the meeting over there, if they eliminate home rule, then we're out of the equation and we're not going to fund it. Okay, and so I don't know whether there'll be state employees. I don't know what they'll be. Nobody knows at this point. I don't even know if they're going to eliminate home rule. But we just have to, it might look a lot like what you're from, you've been working with as far as mental health goes.
Yeah.
So, and then I do believe that they will separate environmental health out. And they may very well make it regional, but put it under DNR's umbrella. We just don't know yet.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they make some of those decisions.
Yeah, and then I had early childhood, and I agreed to be on the I guess you call it budget committee. I don't know much about those kind of budgets, but
We'd like to thank you.
well, okay.
And it'll probably change because it's doing the same thing as Russ. I mean,
Right. We had a long
yes.
discussion about budget items, and so I thought I'd like to know more about it
Mhm.
and be more involved in it. So she's supposed to get a hold of us, or me.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I wasn't sure what your schedule was, but let me know what was available and I let Susie know. So
Okay.
I appointed you to the budget.
Yeah, you too. Do you have any meetings to report on?
First I want to ask this fine young man a question. So did you guys discuss us, maybe we're spending full time for this guy out here, Mike, Matt, whatever his name is? And he's
With
over in
Russ.
Henry County with Russ.
The challenge is the county through the Board of Health, because it's through them, is paying for services that we're not receiving.
Oh, yes, you are. You're receiving those services. He's
How-
available 5 days a week. And he's in constant contact and by phone if he needs to be.
But people have been
he's-
walking in over there and he's not there. And when we talked to Bruce, I asked him, I said, can we do a part-time person? He said, no, you need a full-time person because you need somebody physically here in the county. Otherwise contractors will get away with things. And now the opposite's happening. So I'm very concerned about that.
Well, I think that the issue is that contractors are scheduled as far as that part of it goes. He knows when they're supposed to be inspected. If contractors don't reach out to him, obviously that's an issue, but it wouldn't matter whether he was sitting in there or not. And he spends most of his time over here. And I don't know what you would be necessarily looking at in terms of, if you look at it in terms, and of course, it's up to the Board of Health to have that discussion with them. But if you look at it in terms of, okay, so, he gets $16 an hour, so 8 hours. That's what, $128. I mean,
You did that in your head.
yeah, I
That was
did.
good.
You know, it's a paperwork nightmare to try and cover $128. All right, but it's actually up to the Board of Health to have
Right.
that conversation.
Anyway, she was just curious. And
Yeah, I
too,
was just
whether-
curious
Yeah.
because it gives me the illusion that we're paying for stuff for Henry County.
Well,
In a way we are.
I mean, yeah, Henry County's, you're right. I mean, I get it. I understand where you're coming from. His availability though is, how do I want to say this? If he needs to make arrangements, he would make arrangements,
Yeah.
you know, and if he needs to, you know, and believe me, we got a lot more work here than they've got in Henry County
Yeah.
in terms of things we've got to
Right,
get
and
caught
Yeah.
up
And
on,
there'll be times where they have more than we have, but I just saw this.
right?
Why don't we just share him with both counties and we cut
Well,
everybody's
again,
expense
that's
in
a
half?
conversation for the Board of
Well,
Health.
that's what I was saying before.
I stopped out and talked to Mike the other day about this because I was concerned about it. And he says the only time he goes to Henry County is when Bruce is on vacation, covers down there. Otherwise, he's here his hours he's supposed to be. Because I told him I'd heard about him down there, losing their environmental specialist.
Yeah.
So,
And we
We'll let
interviewed
Wayne
two
know.
individuals this last week, no,
What?
not this last week, the Wednesday before.
he said he
Mhm.
inspections. So,
One gentleman was a very nice gentleman, but I thought he was meek, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. I just don't think he had the
What's this?
personality
Oh, your interviews.
yeah,
Right.
to confront
Understand.
contractors
Right.
and, you know, make demands and so on and so
Yeah,
forth.
don't back down.
Well,
Right.
that's up to you and your committee
Right.
So,
meetings.
Semco has been closing down every day at 11 o'clock when it's windy, and today is another one of those days. As far as the CETA board that I'm on, they're kind of doing what Lee said. They're just waiting to see what's
Yeah,
happening. So they
everybody
can,
has.
and so that's really all we talk about.
Yeah.
Right.
What may, the sky is falling, but we don't know when.
Yeah. Yes. So what's a good
Workforce the same way,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I had, what did I have? ACT a week ago, Monday, and there was a presentation on problem gambling, which was,
Yeah. You don't win.
interesting with that group. And attended a land use and the resilient ag group that is part of the Fairfield, I guess, comprehensive plan. So, they're working through that, and that's, again, part of that project. I know, Joe, you're on a couple of those committees.
Yeah.
So nothing really other than process heavy right now.
I sent Senator Dickey our invoice for the $5,000 for publishing the,
Did
did?
you really?
I did.
Have you heard back?
Oh, I did.
Yeah, good
Was
job,
not-
Lee.
Was not a pleasant
Wait a
conversation.
minute, he
but-
wants to give you more than 5,000.
Can I have a calculator, please? Yeah, just,
It wasn't quite 5,000, 4,800 and some change.
well, it's
Round
cheaper
up.
than we were originally told, because we were originally told it was gonna be 10, so that's good. Okay. Allow claims and approve reports, gonna do some math here. So,
Melissa messaged me and asked that not be quote voided. She just wants to hold the check if that's fine, so
Yeah.
it still needs to be approved.
okay, so we approve it pending paperwork.
She just doesn't want to have to void it and rewrite it next week, she said.
All right,
Thank her too for sending me the lady and her phone number that needs some 911 signs.
Oh, yeah, from Vedic City.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it was,
I haven't had a chance to call her. I did.
yeah, and she's the city clerk, doesn't have that positive.
I'm addressing cemeteries now.
You never knew.
Send email.
how do you
guess so.
address cemeteries?
You put a little blue sign that says 2342 or whatever. No, Tony Webb was, not hired, appointed as township clerk for Locust Grove.
Oh.
And he wanted to know about addressing cemeteries. Coon Cemetery, if you're familiar with, there's nothing there anymore. It's
It's
being
been plowed
farmed.
under.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Home Cemetery, there's one stone laying up against a tree. It's out in the middle of a field, and I told him that can't be addressed. Two cemeteries have addresses with houses in front of them, and they're out in the field. So we're just gonna use those addresses. So Smith, Brooks, and McCleary, I'm addressing in Locust Grove. I sent them in last night.
Okay,
The place where there's none now.
let's get this.
Okay, but I think we're supposed to focus.
Okay.
Focus.
I see French Rent-A-Car was paid out of the American Rescue Fund. What was it from?
That would have been Sean's project, probably. For the Destination Iowa grant. And he told us when he reported to us at one point that they were gonna be there.
You ever heard of them?
Not yet, May 15th.
And all the wards and townships will be up for voting places.
Yes. Also.
We can sign?
It's my girl.
Why?
I think they take a day off.
Oh, no. Here. Take it, come on. Is this another one to look, same thing? This is for the ambulance.
Did you watch the WNBA draft last night?
I know, but we weren't supposed to talk about it because.
Let's get the bills done first.
Oh, well, I'm just sitting here.
No, waiting for something to sign. There you go.
Is this the?
That's the big one. That other one's basically already approved, because we had to do that for the ambulance.
So why is there $10,000 difference?
It's always been 251.
One's the ambulance.
One's the ambulance and
Oh.
that's separate things.
Okay,
This is
I bet.
the claims. And the totals. You can read it, it's 261 and some. Thousand.
Motion to approve claims in the amount of $241,053.21.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion to adjourn,
So moved.
all in favor? Aye.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.